Hitting one good attack isn't good enough anymore. Now, these are the different patterns that pro players are using to dominate their opponents. We used to be able to win points just by hitting one good attack. Now, everybody's hands are so good that that ball is always coming back. You need to be ready for the next one to be able to put that next shot away. Today, we're gonna be going through different spots on the court and different attacking targets to help you win those hands battles. Keep in mind that this video is for right-handed players attacking other right-handed players. We can't go through every single situation, otherwise this video would be like 45 minutes long. So we're primarily gonna be talking about 3 different spots in this video. We're gonna be talking about forehand attacks from the right side, forehand attacks from the middle here, and backhand attacks from this odd side. From this forehand side, we actually have a ton of options, and that's why you've seen a recent change in the meta to the forehand side player being very, very aggressive. So the most common pattern when I have an easy ball from this forehand side is just to attack straight ahead of me, attacking right down the line to my opponent's backhand. When I do this, the most natural place for David to counterattack me is taking his backhand right through the middle here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attack with my forehand and then look to counter and crash through that middle with my backhand. The tough part about this attack is I'm going over the highest part of the net, and if David reads this attack well and is able to get it right back down my line, I'm in a tough spot. Additionally, I might miss this ball wide. So this is kind of a risky attack, but it's worth it if you can execute it well enough. The next attack here is kind of an off-speed attack. It's something that you're seeing more and more in pro pickleball. I'm not gonna try and hit this ball as hard as I possibly can, but I'm gonna try and get this ball down towards David's knees, ankles, or even lower. Same thing here, after I hit this shot, if I hit it well enough, I'm gonna look for David's counter to come through the middle. So when David sees that I'm attacking, players are generally looking for something a little bit higher. If I take off a little bit of pace and hit this ball down the line, it's a very tricky shot for my opponent. They have the option to maybe go back down the line, but that's a very, very low percentage shot for them. Somebody who does this really, really well, particularly in mixed doubles, is Anna Bright. She'll take a big swing with this forehand, make you think that she's gonna hit it really hard, and just hit this really awkward little shot right down the line. The next attacking spot is right at the body. And this is a tough one because when I attack right towards the body, you don't always know where your opponent is gonna be able to counter that shot. So if I attack right at the body, I can't just wait on my backhand or wait on my forehand. I need to still be sitting neutral. It's very difficult to know where that counter attack is going to come. So when you attack somebody right at the body, it's hard to kind of know exactly where that counter is gonna be. If David catches it a little bit late, that ball might be going right back over towards my forehand. If he catches it a little bit early, it's gonna be going back towards that middle. So from the body, it's hard to anticipate exactly where your opponent is gonna counter that ball. So when I attack at the body, I need to make sure that it's a good attack because I can't really anticipate where that next ball is gonna be going. I have to be ready for both forehand and backhand. The next and most common spot for an attack is right towards my opponent's chicken wing. You have to be careful with this shot because where I'm anticipating the next ball depends on where they're making contact. Naturally, when David hits a backhand, he's gonna be pulling it more cross court. If he catches a forehand, he might be able to come back behind me. It depends on where he's making contact. So the next attack is going right through that middle. And this is another situation where it depends who's gonna hit that ball. If the person in front of me is hitting that with their forehand, they're generally gonna be a little bit late on it and push that ball either through the middle or back to my partner. If the cross-court person comes over there with their backhand to cover the middle, they're generally gonna be a little bit late as well, and it's gonna funnel that ball back towards me. The next attack is a full cross-court attack. Previously, you were told never attack cross-court in pickleball, but it's becoming more and more common if you can hit this shot well enough. So if I'm able to attack cross-court, I'm going to expect David to kind of be late on that shot and hit it back to me. However, if I hit a bad one, David is going to rip that at my imaginary partner over there. Nice. So the last option here is something that's also being used more commonly, is just a heavy cross-court roll to keep your opponents honest. Barely. Oh, I keep missing it. Oh my God, David. It's like 3 inches wide every time. Oh, that was gonna be perfect too.
CJ goes for a violent angle, catches the top of the tape, it rolls along.
There we go.
There it is.
After I hit that aggressive cross-court roll, I'm gonna be looking into the middle because they might pop that ball up. Hopefully, my partner is actually moving for an Ernie as well to take away their easiest shot. So next, we're gonna talk about what we can do with a dead dink from the middle with our forehand here. We're playing the left side, but somebody's given us an easy ball towards the middle. We've got a lot of options with this one. So when I've got this dead dink towards the middle, both of my opponents are naturally going to crash towards the middle a little bit. So one of the most common things that you'll see, and the easiest shot from this position, is to execute an aggressive inside-out dink to my opponent's backhand. After I hit this shot, I'm gonna be covering that middle in case they counterattack it, or in case they pop up the next one and I can smack that ball down. So the next option with this dead dink from the middle is to try and go around my opponent's backhand on that side. Naturally, when I'm here, as I mentioned, my opponents are gonna crash towards the middle, which means that there might be a little bit of space down that line. One of the things that you're seeing pros do is hooking around the outside of that ball to get some side spin on it and keep the ball in laterally. The danger with that attack is if it's not far enough away from my opponent or making them reach, they could have a pretty good counterattack on it because I'm attacking cross court. They have a little bit more time to react. The most common target for this dead dink middle forehand attack is actually at the cross court player's chicken wing. And that's because if I can get them jammed into this position, I know that they're going to be late and hitting it right back to me. They can't punish that ball at my partner if I do jam them up. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna attack right to that chicken wing and then be ready for the next shot to come right back to me. So the next attacking target is towards the middle. And this again depends on who actually ends up taking it. If the person diagonally from me ends up taking it, they're likely gonna be late and counterattack that ball right back towards me. But if I hit this through the middle and the person in front of me comes in there with their backhand, they're generally gonna be late and I can sit and look to crash on this ball in the middle. This is a pattern that you see very commonly in mixed doubles. I'll attack this ball through the middle, the person in front of me will take it, and I'll come in and smack the next one down. So the next target that I'm gonna have with this middle ball is right towards the person in front of me, their backhand. And what's naturally gonna happen is I'm looking to jam them up. When they are jammed, they're most likely gonna try and counter it back down my line because there's space there, right? I'm here, it looks like there's space open there, but I need to come back and close it down with my backhand. The last option here is an aggressive cross-court dink, and then I can look to Ernie. So the last few patterns that we're gonna talk about are when we have a dead dink or a ball out of the air from this backhand side, and we have a bunch of options. The first option is gonna be an aggressive roll cross-court to keep our opponents honest. So if my opponent hits a dead dink, normally what they're gonna do is they're gonna crash towards the middle of that court to defend my speed up, which should give me some space to hit aggressively behind them. So the next pattern is something that you're seeing more and more once again, is a cross-court speed up. If I get a ball high enough, I'm gonna attack right back towards the person diagonally from me and look to crash that middle. My next option from here is going to be attacking once again right at the body. I like this play a little bit better from this side because it's very difficult for David to hit a counter cross court. It's generally going to come either towards the middle or right back towards me. He can't really clobber that ball towards my partner in this position. Last but not least, I can attack from my backhand towards my opponent's chicken wing or forehand. It's a tough shot because it's over the highest part of the net and the sideline is over there. A lot of people have a little bit more success with this when the ball is actually a little bit further out wide. It gives you a little bit more angle to attack your opponent's chicken wing. So I'm primarily doing this off of the bounce when the ball's slightly further out wide. Once I hit this shot, it really depends how my opponent times it. If they're behind on the ball, it's going to come right back to me. But if they're early or see it, they're probably going to counter through the middle primarily. Nobody's hitting attacks well enough to have outright winners anymore. You need to be able to set up that next finishing shot by using these attacking patterns. And if you want to work on the fundamentals of your backhand flick, check out this video.